Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Music Lessons 101. Today we are going to work on a song that I wrote not too long ago, actually just last week. Hopefully you've seen it. Would be good to watch that before doing this lesson, I would say. It's an acoustic country and kind of a jazzy blues thing. It has a little bit of everything in it, so lots of really good little takeaways in this song too. So would be a good one for you to do if you're late beginner, early intermediate. It's going to be it's going in the key of E, and so we're going to have your 1, 4, and your 5. This one's going to be a little bit different because we're going to have some chords that aren't that are different. Okay, it's like, and I'm going to explain that to you in a minute. It's going to have like in the key of E, you have your 1, 4, and your 5, and then you have each chord has a relative minor. Okay, so but these relative minors are going to be relative majors. Okay, but we're not going to go into like a lot of theory on that. So I want to jump into this lesson. So going right into the C sharp 7th. Okay, it's a C sharp 7 sharp 5. Okay. Now I'll start right there and explain to you where is a C sharp 7th? How does that fit into the key of E? Okay, you may ask if you're into theory. If you look at your E, its relative minor is a C sharp minor. Now those relative minors can be relative majors, and we're in essence we're kind of borrowing from another key in a way, but you just have to know that that's in the key. It's just the 7th chord. Okay, it's a major chord, I mean, and we're just borrowing that. Okay, so a lot of songs will do that. Okay, so we start off. Well, let me show you this C sharp 7th shape first. Okay, it's going to look like this. Okay, and I'll put up some chord charts. So if you slide this all the way down to the end, we end up with okay. So we're basically walking into it. So that's how I start the song. And now what I'm doing like a little bit of palm muting on this thing too. So I'm getting that, and then look what I'm doing with my second finger. And so it's kind of like when you do this, you're kind of getting that percussive sound. Okay, so again, I drop my pinky down to where we're just doing the regular 5, okay? And now where does the sharp 5 come from? I'll do this just real quick. If you play your major scale starting on your C sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? That's your 5th, which is your G sharp. And we had an A, that's where the sharp 5 is coming from, okay? So we do that. And that brings us to another interesting chord here. We're going to have 2 in a row here. So let me show you what I did up here. So we're going to go to a diminished chord at this point in the song. And basically it's a C sharp diminished, okay? But I was able to play this with using open strings. Okay, one of those happy accidents, okay? And then we're going to go to a C sharp 7th, but I wanted that note, so we're going to do this funky C 7th here. What this is coming from your, if you look at your A-shaped C from the Cage system, this is the G shape. There's your 7th right there. Quite the stretch. So let's take it from the top there. Okay, and you'll notice too, as we start on this, there's like a lot of tension going on there. So we're kind of building tension when we start on that. Even more tension there. And when we go to this F, you're kind of releasing that tension there, okay? So let me show you what I'm doing up here. Again, I'll do some diagrams for you to help, but we're up here on the 10th fret, okay? My pinky is on the first string, 10th fret, B string is open. My third finger is on the 10th fret, the G string. We're playing that open D. Okay. And now, all you're going to do when you're in this position, you can connect them. If you just slide your first finger down, bring your second finger up, or your third finger up, and then, so you can kind of connect those two. Okay, then. Okay, so what I did here, let's see here, make sure I'm not missing anything. So when we come to this F, again, what I did when I was playing this, is, you know, if you start writing your own songs, you're always kind of looking for open strings and ways you can kind of keep that flow going, okay? And so again, in the key of E, it just works out so nicely with these chords, because you can get away with, if you play like an F sharp, look at this, okay? You can kind of get away with that open F chord right there. But what I did, I'm playing this little F triad, okay, and then I'm putting my pinky here on the first string, 4th fret, okay, and then my pinky's going to go above that on the B string. See, I get this dissonant sound here. Isn't that cool? Then, this 5th string, 4th fret with my 3rd finger. Okay, and then we're going to go to the B7th, to the 5 chord. Now we're going to do a B7th sharp 5. And again, the same kind of comping thing. Notice I hit that root note. You could practice this. Let me show you this real quick. If you're playing a B7th, notice how I have this alternating picking. And I'm just doing the up and down strums in between. And you can do that on the E as well. Okay, so that's kind of called comping. If you've heard like it's that kind of thing. This doesn't quite have as much in it, but you can vary. It just depends on how you like to play it. Okay, so again, here's the B7th, sharp 5. Now what I did here is I walked up to, here's your B here. You have your A-shaped B from the Cage system, if you're familiar with that, okay? And then now we have it, we're walking up to this 3rd, which is the G shape, if you know your Cage system, okay? With the 3rd in the bass, so we have. Okay, so what I did there, let me take it from that B7th for you, okay? Okay, that gets you through the 5 chord, and then we're going to do this quick little turnaround. Again, now we're playing an A chord with the third. How we did the B with the third and the bass up here. We're going to do the same thing on this A chord. Okay. Okay, then we're going to go back to the second time through. And again, I'm doing the comping thing here. Now we're going to do this quick little turnaround. I'm going to play it for you, then I'll explain it. I'll play it slow too. Okay, so that's a typical turnaround. You've probably heard that before. It's kind of a tough one if you're a beginner, but it's like a lot of fun. We used to call that back in the old days. I used to play with this old steel guitar player that I played in the band with, and he used to call that going around the horn. So he would say, "Go around the horn." Okay, so that's kind of a I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it was called back in the day. And okay, so what's going on there? So it's going backwards down the circle of fourths, or you've heard of the circle of fifths before, but basically the circle of fifths is a lot of times is played backwards, which becomes a circle of fourths. So you'll notice we're going C, F, B, E. Okay, so the first part of it though is we're gonna go our A. Okay, to the A diminished. Then now from the C sharp seventh we go down the circle of fourths. F, B, E. Again, you could do this anywhere. Let's say for example, just for the heck of it, I'll show you. What if I start on an E? Look at this. I'm on the E. Go down a fourth, another fourth, another fourth, another fourth. So you kind of see how that works, okay? So just be aware of that. Listen for that. That's a good takeaway. Like when you're listening to songs, that will help you learn songs because you'll be listening. You go, oh, I know exactly what it's doing. It's just going down the circle of fourths. So I thought that was a nice little turnaround to put in this song here. Let's see here. So now you've heard this progression here before. You've heard that. Da, 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 da. That Garth Brooks tune. Okay, so, but what it's doing is going A sharp diminished, okay? So the way I'm playing this, I'm hitting my A string, the A sharp, then F sharp here on the E string, then I'm just half stepping to that C sharp, then and I'll have the tablature in here so you can see, how I played it. But let me do that one more time for you. I don't know if I played it the exact same way as I did in the recording. Yeah, so what I did, the way to make it easier when you're on this C sharp seventh, you play the open E, now the open A. Okay, so then after I came out of that progression, I did this. So instead of going, from the 1 to the 4, I just kind of jazzed it up a little bit. Again, there's that, the major third. doing this little A triad right here. Okay, so that gets you past we're just going on our good old E chord. So that gets you past the first section. Then we're coming into kind of a little, the little chorus part or whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to do this little, we're going to have this E as a drone. And I'm grabbing these two notes of the B7th. Okay, so you can kind of think of this, you kind of think of that as coming from the E major scale, but you know, it's a common thing. So I just have my open E string, my third finger's on the 5th fret, the B, and then I'm on the 4th fret. So you could use that in a lot of songs. That's really cool. Kind of sounds like almost kind of bluegrassy sounding. And I'm kind of grabbing this with kind of pinching it. And again, that's kind of extra credit if you want to do that. You could just play the chord. I kind of kept these little bluegrass kind of sounding licks. Well, they're kind of bluesy sounding too. I don't know what you call them, okay? But so we're just going, this is just kind of coming, this is mixing kind of the minor pentatonic. If you think of the first position of the E, kind of mixing the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic together. So this is pretty easy. Okay, that'll be the first part. So the second part, I just came off we're hitting the note from the major, position 2 of the major pentatonic, but we're bending into the minor pentatonic. Okay, so that gets you past that, through that section. Let me do that whole thing for you. Okay, and then then we're going to go to an E7th, but I did something a little bit different. Again, taking advantage of those open chords. So what's going on here? Here's your E, another E7th, kind of an open E7. So you have your open E string. Second finger is going to be on the 5th fret. The A string, open D string, first finger is on the 4th fret, the G string, and of course we just still have these two notes from your E chord. Those are already open there anyway. So, and you can see what's going on here is if you look at your E note up here, there's the 7th right below it, right? Okay, so, and then we're just hitting these two B's are stacked right there. There's your flatted 7th right there. So that's a cool chord to know right there, just in of itself. And again, notice how I'm connecting this. So my second finger is already where it needs to be. So is my first finger. And now keep my first finger here again. Okay, and there's an E7th shape right there. If you have to do a ninth like that, you can see it. Okay, and then we're going to go on to this other little section here that I put in here. Okay, so I'm kind of jumping in. I'm taking this from the A chord. We're going to the 4 chord, which is the A. So we're going to have. See that? Okay. That's kind of like a voice leading kind of thing. I'm jumping into A a little bit ahead of time, even though it's still on the E. So now we're going to do this little part here. This is kind of like we were talking about tension and release. Okay, so now we're coming to this other section where it gets a little bit more dramatic. So we're going to, as we come down this A, okay, so that's, you've heard that before, it's a common. And then we're going to go to this E, but I'm going to make it an E6. Then I'm going to go a half step down. Then back into the E6, okay? A lot of songs, you'll hear a lot of songs do that. You know, kind of, say if you're doing something like this, so now we can do it up here. Okay, so, and this, again, on your 4 chord, if you think of your A major pentatonic here, you have these little triads. That's all I was thinking, you know, and you can see here's an A chord right here, your E-shaped A chord. There's those 2 notes again. So I'm always kind of looking at shapes that are within, you know, the cage system, and that's how you can build these songs. And then we're going to do that part again. We're going to the D. So I'm kind of going a little bit out of the key right here, which is kind of like, some songs will do that too. This is kind of like, again, if you think of the E, you know, like you've heard like Tequila. Like a lot of songs, you know, not only will they have your 1, 4, and your 5, and you have your relative minors. Those relative minors can be relative majors. And you can also have the 7th chord in the song. Okay, a lot of songs will do that. So if you ever hear that, if you're ever looking for that chord, like a lot of times it'll be the 7th. If you're like, well, where's that chord coming from? It's not in the key, you know, but that's one of the go-to places that you learn. Okay, so I went to the D, and I went to an A augmented. Okay, so an augmented chord is just a sharp 5. Here's your 5 right there, root, 3, 5. Okay, so let me do that. I just did open strings, and then I went to a B6, okay, or a D6. You can kind of look at it 2 different ways, okay? Like you can say this is a D6, but you can kind of look at it as a B minor too, okay? They're kind of like the same. So again, there's that little half step thing. So let me do that again. Then I'm going to go to the B. Again, the E-shaped. And I'm just, again, I'm playing right out of this. I'm just playing right out of this B shape here. I'm kind of thinking of a minor pentatonic in a way, and it could more be like the Mixolydian. Yeah, you could think of it as like an E Mixolydian. So it's just basically I'm just grabbing the seventh. We're not going to get into like a lot of theory, but then we're going to do this. This is a must-know move right here, okay? Especially if you like to play blues or country. We're going to play this. We're going to go to an E. And then we're going to go to an F ninth. And then to an E ninth. Okay, so see how we were here on the A-shaped E. Then notice when we're playing this this ninth chord right here, okay? But look where we're going. We're going to go back to the beginning, and look, my fingers are already where they need to be. So that's a great way to connect those chords. So again, we're going to go. Now we're back into the song. Okay, then what we did there, we do that little, I love that sixth chord on that E. So this right here again is coming right out of your, if you think of your minor pentatonic, you're going into this little second box here. Again, that's another good takeaway. It's a great little turnaround. All right, well that just about does it on that one. There's a lot of cool triads in there, a lot of really neat little parts you can use in other songs and help develop your country or blues playing. And so have fun with that. I really hope you enjoyed this. Definitely leave a comment below. Let me know if it was helpful and if you'd like to see more videos like this. These songs are so much fun to play, and you can play these by yourself too. You don't need, I'm going to have a backing track I'm going to upload for you to play along with. But you can play these just on your own, and if it's too hard for you on acoustic, you could do it on electric too. It'd probably be just fine. Okay, so keep that in mind, and thank you so much for watching the videos, and please subscribe and help me to hit that 1,000 mark. It's coming up, and I would really, really appreciate it. So anyways, we will see you next time around. Have a great day. Bye-bye.